Well, good morning, everybody. We are doing a Yin Yoga practice. When we did the 108 sun salutations last class, Travis recommended that we do a Yin practice. Uh, I know it's been a few days, but we're going to do it anyway. This one is focusing on your upper body. So if you did 108 sun salutations and that yoga push-up move, you might have a little extra tension or tightness in your chest and shoulders. If you are an athlete that's involved in throwing things, this is a great class for you. And for those of us who aren't athletes that throw a lot, um, many of us store stress in our chest and shoulders area. So we'll be hopefully making everybody feel a little bit better. You do need a prop today. I have a towel. Um, you could use a blanket, a towel, a throw from your couch, something that you can use today for a couple of our activities. Uh, something, a towel is better than a pillow because you want it to be pretty long and narrow. So something it's kind of yoga mat shaped, and you could use a yoga mat, but most of us are using our yoga mats underneath our bodies if we have one. So I'm going to give you a minute to go find a towel, blanket, throw something, and then come back. So sit comfortably. Check in with your breathing. Notice your connection with the floor. And we're going to start moving with shoulder rolls, but this time bring your arms into a T shape and do your shoulder rolls from here. Pick a direction. Try to really involve your shoulder blades. Allow them to slip and slide and expand and contract. And switch directions. And notice corners where it's hard to move, where it's not quite as smooth or a little jerky. And just observe. Okay, check out your shoulders. And you're going to do the same thing with your hands. Oops, I'm in the spotlight. With your hands in plank position, basically. Shoulder rolls, really trying to involve your shoulder blades in this circle. And switch directions. Go ahead and release, shake out your shoulders again. And we're going to do a variation of a neck stretch that we've been doing before. Neck to one side. Take the hand on that same side, bring it up over your head and basically touching your ear. And allow your arm to be a little bit heavy to pull and lengthen the side of your neck. And breathe.
And we're going to release, but use your hand to push your head back up to neutral, and then allow gravity to bring it to the other side. And add the hand up and over your head, touching your ear. And breathe. And then go ahead and release your hand and push your head back up to vertical. And then take your hands behind your head and press your head into your hands as far as you can go. And really feeling in your armpit area, kind of a stretch. If you're not feeling anything, shift your elbows even further, wider, more open, more towards the back of your space. And breathe. And then we're going to add motion. We're going to do a butterfly flap. So inhale and press and stretch and bring your elbows as wide as they'll possibly go. And exhale, bring your elbows towards each other. Inhale, open and reach, pressing your head back. Exhale, bring your elbows towards each other. Inhale and reach. Exhale, bring them towards each other. And one more set. Go ahead and release. Shake out your shoulders if that feels good. And we're going to come onto our backs in constructive rest. And make it so your arms might have a little space. So let's start in constructive rest. So that's on your back with your knees bent and your arms either in a T or in cactus or goalpost arms. Try to have your shoulder blades flat on your back, in between the ground and your back. And just notice any sensations in your upper body. Maybe just be okay if you don't have much sensation at all. In yin practice, you hold the poses for multiple minutes. And sometimes the challenge is maintaining the pose and not saying, oh, I did it, I'm done. Okay. Bring your fingertips underneath the back of your head and hold your head off the ground. Your head weighs about 10 pounds, a bowling ball, and we want to use your hands to support your head and not your neck. From here, take your head and twist your head towards your computer and set it down on the ground. So your ear is basically on the ground. And bring your arms back into a T or into goalpost or cactus or right angle, whatever your descriptor is of this arm position. So a different variation of our neck stretch. This one, the twist. We did nods, we did the side bend. And let gravity deepen the twist. Okay, you're gonna inch your fingers back underneath your head. Twist your head to neutral and hold it there for a moment. Maybe take a breath. And then twist your head over to the other direction and set your ear on the ground. Arms back into cactus. Allow gravity to hold your head and the ground to hold your head, not your neck muscles, if you can. And breathe. Bring your fingertips underneath your head and twist your head back into neutral. Hold it in the air for a moment and go ahead and set it down on the ground. And then roll over onto one side. Knees bent, maybe arms approximating stack. Take a breath here. And then when you're ready, take your top hand and your bottom arm and push off the ground, looking down, and allow your head to come up flat. That's a way to get up without engaging your neck muscle, which we're trying to do. Okay, now we need our apparatus, your towel, blanket, whatever you've done. You want to roll it so that it's a long tube. For towels, folded in half and then rolled. Usually you'll do it. And you want it vertically in your space because you're going to lie on it along your spine. You want your head to be supported. So bring it either close or as away from your body as you need to make sure that your head gets support. And go ahead and lie on your support, whatever it is. So your spine is on the towel and your head is on the towel or blanket. Then arms in a V, a T, or goalposts, whatever makes comfortable sense for you. And see if you can allow gravity to pull your shoulders towards the ground behind you. Maybe with your exhales in particular. As we move through this practice, you don't want to feel anything sharp pain-wise. Should be on a 1, 2 of 5, maybe maximum 6 on the pain scale. Nothing higher than that. If you do feel higher than that, then adjust, move, adapt your position. Don't just give up, but make it so that you aren't in sharp pain. You also don't want to feel a pulse. That means you're pressing on an artery. So just adjust the position slightly until you're not putting that pressure. Same thing with the feeling of pins and needles. Means that you're pressing on a nerve, like you're feeling like your arm's falling asleep. You don't want that. So adjust, come out slightly, or just reorient your arm. Take one more breath here. And then roll onto your side off of your structure. Take a breath. And then again, using your top hand and your bottom arm, looking down, push yourself back up to seated. And then put your towel perpendicular to your body. And it's going to hit right below your arms so that your arms will be above your towel. Go ahead and lay back. Pick your arm position. If this is too tall for you, roll off and unroll your towel or blanket a little bit. Maybe place more of the towel underneath your head. Again, see if you can have your shoulder blades flat on your back between the towel and your body. And allow your shoulders to at least energetically drift towards the ground behind you. You might not actually get any closer, but there's the sensation of allowing gravity to open your chest. And sometimes holding positions like this makes your mind go. So notice any emotion, boredom, irritation, grief. And notice any thought. When you do notice your thoughts going and wandering elsewhere, bring yourself back to this space by focusing on your breath or your connection to the ground, the bottoms of your feet, or your senses, maybe sounds in your space. Pull you out from the chatter in your head. Take one more breath here, then roll onto a side. Take another breath. When you're ready, push back up to seated. Okay. We're done with this for now, but you might want it handy for a pillow later. Okay. From tabletop, we're going to go into puppy. So really reach your hands forward in your space and allow your forehead to drop in between your arms until your forehead is touching the ground. This should be a shoulder armpit stretch. Notice how one side might be different than the other. And you can experiment with your hand positions. You can be reaching your fingertips away from your head, or bring your palms together, making a little steeple over your head. Or bringing your fingertips to your upper back. They're all hand position options. But the sense of the pose is stretching upper arm, pec minor, all of the rotator cuff muscles. Lats. Probably deltoids. Allow your shoulders and your arms and your head to be heavy. One more breath here, and then go ahead and press yourself out of your puppy. I'm going to turn towards the camera just so you can see it better. Our next pose is from tabletop again. It's called thread the needle. Bring your left arm out into a T and then thread it behind your right arm. Bend your right elbow so you can bring your head to the ground. Let's try that setup again. We'll do it 3 times. Bring your arm into a T 2 more times. Then slide it underneath. Bring your side of your left temple to the ground. One more, and then we'll hold. Arm to a T, then through and under. And this stretch, feel it in your outside of your shoulder, your upper back, your neck. Can you be okay with not feeling anything at all if you have a lot of flexibility? Breathe. Okay, one more breath here. And then press your shoulder back. Press your hand into the ground, back into tabletop. Shake out your shoulders if that feels good. And we're going to switch sides. Again, entering the pose 3 times and then holding the third. So arm out into a T, threading it behind your left arm, bending your left elbow until your right temple is on the ground. Resetting, arm into a T, threading it through. And one more time, and then we'll hold this third one. And breathe. Notice how this side is probably different from the other. Might feel it in totally different places. Okay, pressing into your left hand back into tabletop. Shake out your shoulders if that feels good. And then we're going to come onto our belly for dragonfly. So start on your elbows, very similar to the last pose. You're going to take your left hand and wiggle it behind your right elbow till it's straight in front of you. So it's called dragonfly because your body is the body of the dragonfly and your arms are its wings. So this is half dragonfly. You come out a little bit onto your elbows and bring your other arm that way. This is full dragonfly, where you have both sets of dragonfly wings. Once you're in either of your poses, figure out what to do with your head. If you have your towel nearby, you can use that as a pillow or just use the ground. Or if you're in full dragonfly, you can prop your chin in your X. But try not to have to hold your bowling ball head up. And breathe. Palms are down or palms are up. Doesn't matter. You might experiment. One more breath here. And then wiggle yourself back onto your elbows. We're going to switch sides. So if you started with your left hand under, you're now going to shift so that your right arm is threading behind your left elbow. And if you're in the full dragonfly, you're crossing your elbows and wiggling them out wide. Finding a place for your head and breathe. Again, notice how this side is probably different from the other side. Maybe you're feeling it in your upper back, in your shoulders, in your neck. Radiating sensation is fine, meaning if you feel it in your shoulders and in your hip, just reminding us of the interconnectedness of all your muscles, joints, bones, ligaments, fascia.
Dream of a land my soul is from. I hear a hand stroke on the drum. Shades of delight, cocoa you.
One more breath here. Then wiggle yourself
Rich as
out of the pose back onto your elbows. And then make a right angle with your arms, forearms parallel to each other. Palms down for Sphinx pose. So like the Egyptian Sphinx. You want to not be slouchy in your shoulders. Really press your forearms and your elbows into the ground and bring your neck towards the sky or your top of your head towards the sky, looking forward. You might feel a stretch in your belly, but make sure you're engaging your lower belly so you're not compressing your lower back. Maybe you feel it in your chest. In fact, energetically beam your chest, your heart center towards the center of your space, shoulders back, pressing so that you're not increasing the length between your shoulders and your neck, and breathing. One more breath here. Pull the skin of your forearms towards your heels and come into your child's pose as counter stretch. Try to have your forehead supported by the ground, your towel, your hands, your fists. If child's pose is not a comfortable position for you, you could try crisscross applesauce and bending forward. In that case, your elbows might be on the ground and you're supporting your forehead in your hands. Breathe into your belly. Feel a little bit of stretch or pressure in your lower back. You might try 3-part breath, which is inhale, belly, ribs, top of your chest, and exhale, whoosh, everything out. Do that again. Belly, ribs, top it off. Whoosh. Okay. Come on out of child's pose and on to standing on your knees. And I'm going to turn this way. I think it might be easier to see what we're going to do. It's basically low lunge or just standing on one knee. I have my right knee forward. I'm going to cross my left arm closest to my body, my right arm further away from my body, and then I'm going to scissor my arms over my right thigh. And breathe. Find someplace to hold your head. So your neck's not doing all the work. Go ahead and come out and switch arms and legs. So this time my left leg is forward, my right arm is closer to my body, my left arm is further away. Dropping my X over my front thigh. Finding some place for my head. Notice how this side is probably different from the other. One more breath here. Go ahead and come out. And we're going to go back onto our bellies for our one stretch of the inside of our shoulders and chest. So much of this has been the outside. So come onto your belly. Bring your arms into a T. And then we're going to start on the left side. So Roll onto your left side, keeping your arm in its T. Maybe grab your towel to be a pillow, or just allow your head to drape down to the ground. Bend your knees. Then bring your top arm, your right arm, towards the ground behind you. Maybe drift it to rest your hand on your lower back or drifting in space. Or maybe allowing your shoulders to reach, your hands to reach towards each other. And breathe. Okay, we're going to come out of the pose, back onto your belly, arms into a T, and then roll over onto your right side, bending your knees so you don't flop back over onto your belly. Finding a support for your pillow, maybe it's the ground. And then bringing your left arm up and drifting back towards your right. And breathing. Through the intensity. Through the awkwardness. Go ahead and come out of the pose and onto your belly. We'll do crocodile. Crocodile is the one where you're on your belly, your forehead is pillowed into your hands. Notice your breathing, particularly as your belly presses into the ground on your inhales. And the pressure releases on the exhales. We have one more pose before Shavasana. It's called sewing needle. So make a sewing needle out of your body, your fingertips touching, your thumbs touching, and then allow your forehead to touch the ground in between your arms. Really reach through your fingertips, out your toes.
Come
Come
out
out
of
of
the
the
sewing
sewing
needle
needle
pose
pose
and
and
find
find
your
your
favorite
favorite
Shavasana
Shavasana
position.
position.
I'm
I'm
going to
going to
sit
sit
up.
up.
So maybe let's take a big breath together. Big inhale. And let it go. Notice sensations in your body, particularly in your upper body after that practice. Maybe allow your body to sink into your mat a little bit deeper, particularly on the exhales. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. Let it go. Maybe wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe wrist circles and ankle circles. Maybe a full body stretch. And gently and kindly bring yourself back up to seated. May the inner light in you reflect the inner light in me. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.